Hi students, I'll welcome you to my next video class 16. I'll have quick revision of what we learned in the previous class about the last topic that I discussed in video 15, electric field lines and its representation. Electric field representation in terms of electric field lines. See, this is what I wrote. This is actually the NCERT textbook diagram displayed on the board. See, the textbook explanation and this explanation I gave you. I am here showing you this because we cover the entire textbook in explanation. The study material you have with you while watching this video and you prepare for the examination, board examination is only for the board exam, right? And other explanations I give you. This is what I do every year. You prepare that much for the board examination. You have textbook also with you. And why that notes then when you have textbook? That notes tells you this much you have to write for a question 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 5 mark. If you can do on your own reading the textbook, is enough, fine. We need not take risk to prepare notes. We have prepared notes for you to write answer for 5 marks question, derive that, derive this, derive an expression for electric field due to a dipole. I explained in the last class. And also I explained you, displayed the notes and told you how much you have to write in the examination, right? Precise explanation. But I cover complete textbook in my explanation. And regular class I tell you to note down the points. Remember these points. Write this extra in your notebook and keep that notebook till your CET NEET exam is over. That's what I told you, right? Now also you have to do this. While watching the video, keep one notebook with you. Note down all the points. Along with the notes I have given you, remember these things. You will be greatly benefited. You will realize when you start preparing CET NEET. I am already started NEET preparation, NEET explanation. I have released 2 videos in that direction, right? Almost some 30 questions I have covered in this chapter. Parallelly we will move, but you have to note down all the extra points that you learn, right? Very, very useful. And in this, what extra you have to understand? What is this extra? See students, this is what they are telling you. When you place a charge in a region, that charge produces an influence. What is that influence? Electric field. How do you know the presence of that influence? By using another charge. Now, the charge which is used to test the presence of field is test charge denoted by Q0. What is the nature? Positive. What is this then? This is source charge. I explained you these 2 words, source charge. What is source charge? A charge which produces electric field in the region. What is test charge? A charge which is used to identify the presence of field. In comparison with this magnitude, source charge very large, huge. In front of this is very, very, very small, negligible size. So that the presence of this charge here does not affect the charge state. Now, if you place this charge here, because of repulsion, as they are like charges, tries to move outwards like this. Okay? He has chosen or written the direction of field with this length of an arrow, direct line segment. But when he comes here, means if you place the same charge here, written bit lesser length, here still lesser, means as you move outwards, arrows pointing outwards, which means electric field is outwards, which means unit positive charge moves outwards when you place here. But here it's shorter compared to this. Why? The idea is very simple. Electric field has a property which is proportional to charge value, inversely proportional to square of distance. Same charge for field here, right? Charge remains same, but the distance more here. When distance is more, field is less. That's why lesser length. Still lesser. Field is still lesser. Why? Because distance is still more compared to that here. Right? So as you move outwards, the distance increases, as square of distance, field decreases has been explained in the diagram. It's a pictorial representation of how electric field varies from point to point. Is it all around? Yes. You have written electric field lines all around the charge. What about the field in this space? Here also field is there, but he has not written. He can write lines like this, right? You can write lines like this. So you can be writing electric field lines like this all around forever. It's never ending. You can be writing forever around this. Means electric field lines spread around the charge in all directions. In all directions in space is 3D, three-dimensional space. What we leave is three-dimensional space. Means if there is charge at this point here, at the base here, I can arrange pieces of chalk like this here. One piece of chalk is like this, the other one here, right? Like this. The electric field is in all directions, all directions. But if you write that only on a sheet or board, it will be like this. One line like this one. This cannot be shown clearly. Here I can show you, but cannot be shown in the diagram here. So don't think it's only planar. Planar means only plane, length, breadth. No, it will be like this in all directions, right? In all directions, the electric field lines will be around a point charge. This is a point charge. This is a unit charge, point source charge, right? This is how we represent. And one more point you remember here. Where does it end? Never ends. That's what we say. It ends at infinity. Infinity means the point where you cannot reach. It will be moving forever. A straight line moving forever. Like a ray. Ray you learnt in the mathematics, geometry. Kannada medium students, Kiranagalu. Kirana starts from one point, ends at infinity. Like that, will end at. That's why I told you, electric field lines start from positive charge, end at infinity. And as r tends to 0, mathematically r tends to infinity in fact, the electric field tends to 0. The meaning of this explanation, right? So gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter towards the infinity, or at the point where you reach infinity, electric field will be almost 0, not felt at all. So this also tells you electric force is a kind of force which is long range force. I told you last year, students, recall my last year's first chapter discussion, basic forces in nature. How many forces? 4. Which are they? Gravitational force, electromagnetic force, this one, strong nuclear, weak nuclear. Gravitational and electromagnetic force, a part of that is electric force. Long range forces extend up to infinity. That's the explanation. And one more diagram you wrote, I'll show you now, right? See here. So this one, good. So same, almost same compared to the previous one. I love this. What is the difference? I joined all the arrows together and put only one arrowhead here, right? Which means what? This line extends to infinity, moves to infinity, starting from positive charge. It is positive. Where is written positive? Here. Q more than 0 implies what? This implies it is a positive charge. Around the positive charge, the field lines will be like this, pattern of field lines. They start from positive charge, end at infinity. I wrote you some 4 or 5 points of electric field, properties of field lines, right? Now, if you come to the second one that is here, the negative charge. Where is the negative meaning here? See, Q less than 0. Q less than 0 implies it is negative. For negative charge, how the field lines? Field lines shown towards the charge, minus. Look here. Field lines shown towards the charge. Field lines converge to the point. Previous case, diverge. Positive charge, diverge. Negative charge, converge. So, you said in the last class, field lines start from infinity, end at negative charge. And what about this? Here, the two like charges with same magnitude, QQ. If they are of unequal magnitude, field pattern will be almost same, similar to this. But the number of lines around each will be different, shown here. If it is stronger, we have to show more number of lines in the given space. And the lines extend towards this in more. And what about this region here? This region is called the region of null or neutral field. no field, no electric field. One point if you consider called null point. Null point. What is null point? A point where electric field is zero. Why? Why that's so? Because if you place a unit positive charge there, what happens? This unit positive charge repelled by this. Repulsion means towards this. This also repels with the same force. They are equal and opposite. That's why field cancels. Right? Sometimes or at some points resultant field is zero. Force of this is there. Force of this is there. Together value 0. That's the point. 0 means, see, in my pocket, no money, 0. Right? Was one way of answering. The other one, I have 100 rupees, but I have to give to my friend. There also money is 0. Why? It's not my money, it's my friend's money. Like that. Money is there, but not mine. Field is there, but not felt. Why? Force due to this charge, force due to this charge, cancel each other. Resultant field 0. One more point you have to understand, students. What is that? Null point, okay. Now I'll come to this one. This one. Why this line or what this line explains you? See, he is actually explaining something very interesting. I consider a point on this curve here. As you see, this point is nearer and farther. Here, from here, little bit away. This is a bit nearer. So, field due to this charge, bit more. Look here. Bit more, how do you write? Join these two, extend that line. I write bit longer line due to this. As this is bit away from this, I write bit shorter one, right? Shorter one. How do you find resultant of these two? Draw parallelogram, right? So this is the direction of the resultant. Look here, students. See, I write using yellow. This yellow line seems to be, if you watch clearly, seems to be what? Tangential. You know the word tangential? Sparshaka, Kannada medium students. Tangential to this curve. You come here. Here also, do the same thing. This is the direction tangential to the field line at that point. How do you get it? It's a resultant of two fields. So this repels, you write like this. This also repels, write like this. Resultant of these two is this. So every point on each curve is a resultant of fields due to these two charges. That's why the electric field lines have taken shape like this. They are bent, curved. Previous two examples, straight lines. Here curved. So field lines can be straight or curved. And one more point is, for a curved line of force or field, the direction of electric field at each point is tangential. Students, in the previous example, straight lines, direction same. If you start moving like this, you will be moving in the same direction. But in this case, the electric field direction changes. Here it's tangential. If you come here, tangential like this. If you come here, tangential like this. At each point, electric field is tangential. You will encounter situations like this. This is for two equal charges. All these things you can analyze for this. Two equal charges. Now, for two equal magnitude but unlike charges. Equal, unlike. See here, equal, unlike. Here the field pattern like this. Starting from positive, ending at negative. Positive, ending at negative. Starting with positive, ending at negative. See the field lines. Here it moves straight. If you place unit positive charge here, due to repulsion from positive, attraction from negative, moves towards negative charge. What about this point? This point is again the resultant of two forces. One by this charge. This charge pushes it like this. And this charge attracts, pulls towards it. This pushes, this pulls. The resultant of the two will be in this direction. Right? This is the resultant direction. If you come here, this is the resultant direction. That resultant is the value obtained by using two forces. One repulsion, the other one attraction. The resultant of repulsion attraction is this. So here also at every point the electric field is tangential, direction wise tangential. Value resultant, same formula. root of E1 square plus E2 square to E1 equal to cos theta, like that you have to find. This is field pattern for a combination plus Q minus Q equal magnitude. Like this we can write field pattern around point charges. The same we can write for large charge distribution. We'll come to those things next section. And one more point to remember, here these are the some special four cases, that's it. In CET NEET, I'll take up some more. We are going to identify out of 4 options which is correct in terms of pattern, field pattern around point charge, positive, negative, collection of charges. So all that you will see. You just practice or analyze and understand what I explained you. Watch this video 2-3 times, right? Next, we will take up another topic, right? Before that, I'll run through some of the important points you have in your study material for properties of field lines, right? Properties of field lines. You learned some 4-5 study material. You have to remember some of the points for your board examination. What is a field line or line of force? Line of force is an outdated term. In your NCERT book, they have used electric field lines. Line of force initially used by Michael Faraday. Now, field lines in our all textbooks. What is a field line? Field line is a line in general, a curve drawn such a way that tangent to it at each point is in the direction of net field at that point. Is in the direction of net field at that point. What is the meaning of this? A little bit confusing. This is what the word you have in your NCERT book. Same word. What is that? I showed you electric field line due to 2 positive charges, right? A line starting from a positive charge moving like this, right? At each point, what that sentence tells you, right? Electric field is a curve. What is electric field? Is a curve. How it is drawn? Such that each point tangent drawn represents electric field. At each point, tangent drawn represents electric field. Electric field do what? This and this. When 2 charges together produce field, it is called resultant field. That's why the word, see, curve drawn, right? Such that tangent at each point, tangent here, you can write one more tangent in this direction here, is in the direction of net field. This tangent is the direction of net field of these two. I showed you how to find net field. That is actually field line. Or simply you can say field line in an electric field is an imaginary path, a path. It doesn't exist physically. This imaginary path along which unit positive charge tends to move. If you release a charge, tends to move this way. That is the direction of the field. And some of the points you need to remember. See, electric field lines start from positive charge, end at negative charge. When you consider 2 positive negative together. For a positive point charge, field lines start from it and end at infinity. Field to point charge, say positive. How did you write? They start from positive charge, end at infinity. For a negative point charge, field starts from infinity and ends at negative charge. How did you write for negative charge? Field starts from elsewhere, infinity, ends at negative, right? Negative, like this. That's why starts from infinity, ends at negative. And second important point, electric field lines continuous curves without any break in the charge free region. So here the field lines are continuous, will be moving forever. If you place another charge, then the field lines break. Otherwise it will be continuous curves. Excuse me. Third point, very important. Third point is 2 lines of force never intersect each other in an electric field. They never. What is the meaning of this? If they do intersect, if I write one field line like this, other one like this, what is the meaning of that? Here one value of field is not there. It has its own value, it has its own value, but always at that point we write resultant of the two. That's why these two removed and one direction is written. That's the idea of writing electric field. That's why in one field, what is one field? Resultant of several charges. One field itself resultant of several charges. That's why at that point you have to write only one direction, one line. That's why the two lines of force never intersect each other. And fourth one, electric field lines of force can never be closed loops. They do not form closed loops like this. There is a major difference between electric field and magnetic field. In magnetic field, field lines form closed loops. Here they never form closed loops. They do not curl around, suttudilla around a charge. That's the point you have to remember. And the last one, in fact, 3 points are there. Now see the electric field. That's the point number 5. The electric lines of force or field lines, you say electric field lines are equidistant and parallel to one another in uniform field. What's the meaning of this? If you say a region contains uniform field, as I explained in the torque explanation, you have to write parallel lines. That's what it says. If the field is uniform, write parallel and equidistant lines. Next one, electric field lines of force are close together where the field is stronger. You write electric field lines around a point charge plus. How do you write? The field lines start from the point. See here in this region I am writing a line, right? So over this curve there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Here field is stronger. If you write the same length air comes somewhere here, the same length. Here only 3 lines are passing if you extend, right? But these two are not. What's the meaning of that? That indicates when you are close, the field is stronger. When you are away, field is weaker. When you are away, less number of lines pass through the area, field weaker. When you are close to this source, more number of lines pass through. That's why number of lines give an indication of strength of the field. That is our next topic. What is that? Flux. We'll come to that. The next one, electric field lines close. Okay. Last one, no lines of force exist inside a conductor. Inside a conductor, you are not supposed to write electric field lines. Why? All that you will see in the next section. Just you keep this point in mind. We will discuss in detail about that in coming topics. This is about the electric field lines and how we represent pictorially. Very important, useful information for our next discussion, electric flux. We'll come to that. One more topic, that is continuous charge distribution in this video. What is continuous charge distribution? Students, so far we learned Coulomb's law and other aspects related to a point charge. What is a point charge? Whose linear size is very small compared to the distance at which you are finding force or electric field. For example, this piece of charge. When you charge it, compared to the size, length, distance where you find electric force is very large, size is very small, then it is a point charge, right? Very simple. But if you consider Coulomb charge, what is charge 1 Coulomb? Is it single one? No. It's collection of basic units like protons, electrons. What's the value of 1 Coulomb? 1 Coulomb nearly 6.25, 10 to the power 18 electrons, as many as 10 power 18 electrons. When you put 1 Coulomb charge on a body like a wire, there is a uniform cross-sectional wire. When you put very small cross-section is negligible here. When you put 1 Coulomb charge, charges distribute themselves, if it is positive or negative, positive protons, negative electrons, like that. They distribute themselves all along the length of the wire. So it can be called linear charge distribution. Linear charge distribution. This is linear charge distribution. If you put same 1 Coulomb charge on a surface of a conductor, say spherical ball, metal ball, conductor allows charges to flow. So the charges distribute themselves on the surface. When you comb hair using a plastic comb, Charges may be on the surface or inside the volume. It is an insulator. Cool. That's why charges may be in volume. Sometimes we call volume charge distribution. If they are on the surface, called surface charge distribution. That's why quite often in our day-to-day life interactions, we may see charges distributed along a straight line or on a surface or in a volume. That's why we talk about the charge distribution quite oftenly. This comes in next topic. This is the topic in next part of the chapter, that is Gauss theorem. There we consider continuous charge distribution. Due to that, what is electric field at a point? That will be a new approach. You cannot straight away use Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law alone will not help to identify electric field at a point due to a charge distribution like the one this. So in such cases, we define charge densities. Very important word, like your mass density. What is mass density, students? You consider this box of pieces of chalk, right? This has length, breadth, thickness, 3 dimensions, right? It occupies a volume in space. So to understand such things, the volume occupied by a mass, a term what we call density. In fact, mass density, to be precise, mass density. What is mass density? It's mass by volume. How do you write the units? Kg per meter cube. So why you have to define a term like mass density? Because the same volume may weigh different weights, having different mass. Same mass may have different size, volume. 1 kg cotton, this much size. 1 kg iron, only this much. Why? Density different, right? That's why, or similar to that, we define what we call charge density, because there are 3 types of distributions of charges. Linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, volume charge distribution. So, charge density. What type of charge density here? Linear charge density. When do you talk about linear charge density? It's denoted by symbol lambda. Remember this. When do you talk about linear charge density? When charges are distributed along a straight line. It is defined as a ratio. I write here linear charge density. Linear charge density. What is linear charge density? It is charge per unit line element. Why the word line element? See students, charges have been spread along its length. Here we consider a small portion, say length delta L, where the charges delta Q, a small portion of this conductor, charge small delta Q. So the symbol charge density lambda, charge delta Q per unit line element. Once you define it like this, what is SI unit? SI unit of lambda is equal to charge coulomb and length meter. Coulomb per meter is denominator, that's why coulomb per meter. What is the advantage of defining a term like this? Sometimes we can find the value of charge on a given length by knowing its density as lambda into L. Right? You know lambda. What is charge in a given length? Can be found. An advantage. Right? Very advantageous this one. We will be using this next. Right? So, the first type of charge distribution is linear charge distribution, for which we define linear charge density. 1 mass question or 2 mass question, put a star here. Define linear charge density and write SI unit. The second one, students, that is the surface charge density, right here. Very simple. That is surface charge density. Right? Why surface charge density? As you can easily answer this question. Because we quite oftenly see the distribution of charge on a surface denoted by sigma. What is sigma? Surface charge density. Why we define term like this? Because quite oftenly we see distribution of charge over a surface. For example, cloud. So, cloud is charged, right? Charge is distributed over the lower surface of the cloud. When it comes very close to a tall structure like a building, tree, charges induced of opposite kind over the surface. Look here, over the surface. So, surface charge density. It's quite common thing in our day-to-day life with charge. So, we define surface charge density defined as surface charge density. Surface charge density is charge per unit area. Denoted by sigma. What is that? Charge delta Q over a area delta S. See, you consider a charge body spherical, say spherical. Charges have been spread all over the surface. You need not consider always spherical one. For simplicity, I consider charge. I hear a small area delta S, where charges delta Q. Now, we can solve for delta Q as sigma into delta S. Once you know charge density, you can find charge in a given area. Charge times area. Charge density times area is given charge. What is charge? Charge density area. What is SI unit? SI unit of sigma. What is that? Come on, tell me. Delta Q charge, coulomb, area, square meter. So it's coulomb per meter square. Going to write dimensional formula next. Wait for that. In last video of this chapter, I'll discuss that. Right? And one more important point, very, very important. Note, students. Now let us suppose this. There is a small curved surface. So, right? Clear? This much bend is there here in this. If I extend this, becomes a, see here, as it is a surface like this. If I extend this all around, what happens? It becomes a, right? What is this? A ball, sphere. Any small part of a curve can be extended into a sphere, which has a constant distance from the surface to the center called radius. If there is charge over the surface, how do you define charge density? Charge density is charge Q divided by area. What is area of, if this charge distributed over the entire surface area of the sphere, then what is area? 4 pi r square. You know this. From this, what do you understand? Charge density inversely proportional to square of radius. Very, very important. It has great significance. You will see now just. Now, at the same point, I consider same surface but less curvature. Look here, less curvature. Since curvature bend is less, you extend this, becomes a large sphere. Are you following? Large sphere. So, students, keep this in mind. More bend, small sphere, more bend. Less bend, large sphere. Bending is less here. Large sphere. Bending more. Small sphere. That's the idea. So, here, as it is large sphere, radius more. What do you understand? Bend means curvature. Curvature is more. Curvature more. Bend more. Small sphere. Radius less. Inversely proportional to radius. You understand this point. Sometimes you will not in a position to catch this at once. If you explain once, you may not be in a position to catch it when your concentration is not here. Understand once again? Bend more. Small sphere, radius less. Bend more means curvature more. Curvature more, small sphere, radius less. Inversely related. Students, now you think of the situation. If I put 1 coulomb charge over this, same 1 coulomb charge over this. 1 coulomb, 1 coulomb. Where space is more for distribution? Here. So density less. Dense means how close the charges are. Here charges are very close to each other. They are more dense. Dense, right? In a busy market, there are 1,000 people. Everywhere people. Right? But if you distribute them in a very big area, say 10 hectare, you hardly see people around you, right? One there, another there, something like that. So, charges here 1 coulomb, charges here 1 coulomb. Less surface, density more. More surface, density less. That is the difference, students. That's why more is curvature, less is radius. More is curvature, more is density. See, density inversely proportional to radius. Radius more, density less. Radius less, density more. For radius to be less, curvature must be more. See here, bending more becomes a small sphere, radius less. Bending less, look here, bending less, large sphere, radius more. That's why curvature inversely proportional to radius. More is radius, less is density. It's very, very important idea. Students, in order to conduct lightning, what people do? They install lightning conductor with 2 to 3 spikes. Have you seen spikes like this, which are having very sharp edges? When edge is very sharp, the curvature is more. Curvature more, density more. Charge density maximum. When charge density maximum, charges repel each other and leak into air, jump to the sky, clouds conducting the charge, right? The charges here positive will be neutralized by negative charges from the ground to the sky via spikes, an advantage. So remember this, density more at sharp edges. That's why charges leak out. This is what you see sometimes in electric poles at the joints. There are very sharp edges. The charges leak out, producing sparks, right? So charges leak out from sharp edges. Why? Charges leak out from sharp edges. Why? Because density more. At sharp edges, density is more. That's one thing you have to remember. The third one is volume charge density. What is that? Can you tell me? Third one, volume charge density. Why do you define volume charge density, students? Very simple. The idea is charges sometimes distributed in a volume denoted by rho, 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 same symbol, mass density. As usual, linear charge density charged by line element length, surface charge density charged by area. Similarly, what is volume charge density? It is, I write the word first, volume charge density. What is volume charge density? Volume charge density, it is charged by volume. So, let's write this symbol. Rho equals to charge delta Q divided by delta V. Once you define this way, what is SI unit? SI unit of rho is equal to charge coulomb divided by volume. What is volume? Length into breadth into height. That's why meter cube. So coulomb per cube, meter cube, coulomb per meter cube. That's the idea. Right, students? This is about the 3 types of charge densities: linear charge density lambda, surface charge density sigma, volume charge density rho. What is linear charge density? Charge by line element. That's for charge along a straight line. What is SI unit? Coulomb per meter. What is surface charge density? Charge by area. What is SI unit? Coulomb per square meter. Third one, volume charge density. What is that? Charge by volume denoted by rho. Therefore, you can write coulomb per cube meter. This is very simple, right? And if you define these charge densities, what do you do from these things? See, students, if you know charge density, we can find charge in a given length. for linear charge density, or charge in a given area for surface charge density, or charge in a given volume for volume charge density. We will do that in the next section, that is Gauss theorem and its applications. That's about the charge distribution.